Hello. Okay, next tutorial. This look is, hopefully you can tell, Edward Scissor Hands. Excuse the really lame knives. They came with a costume and I refuse to not use them. They look quite cool. From this angle they look really cool. But yeah, this particular look has been requested so many times. I've actually lost track of the amount of people that have requested this. I apologise if I get this wrong. It's getting really hard to keep track of everyone's requests. But the first person who actually requested this look was Jordan Malliart. I think that was right. I'll put your name there. So thank you guys so much for the requests. So stay tuned if you want to see how to recreate this look. Okie dokie, so the first thing I'm going to do is block out my eyebrows, because we all know Edward does not have any eyebrows. So I'm going to be using two products. I'm going to be using Mehron Modelling Wax and Mehron Spirit Gum. Okay, so I'm just going to take a little mascara wand brush, just make sure I've combed through my eyebrows, okay? And then I'm going to take some of the Spirit Gum and cover the entire of my eyebrow, okay? Just make sure to really get in there. I mean, try to go against the hair if you can, just so you can get the whole thing covered. So get it all covered, and try and brush it. I always brush mine downwards, because you can't generally see the hair and in the hollows of the eyes, so yeah. So just as they're starting to dry and go tacky, I just take my finger and I just run it along the shape of my eyebrow, just pulling downwards, just so it goes nice and flat and there's no hair sticking out whatsoever. Okay, so just start looking something like that. Really flat. Okay, then I'm going to take my modelling wax and my awesome spatula. I love this. Is my most favourite thing in the world in my entire kit. Just a stainless steel spatula. I'll be using it a lot in this look. And I'm going to take a small amount of the wax, so not a huge amount, just enough really. And I'm going to smear that over my eyebrows. Just make sure the glue is proper dry before you do this, because otherwise it will just mix and make a horrible mess. So I'm literally just going to start at the base of my eyebrow and just pull it along. Okay, try not to cover too much of your skin, you just want to cover all of your eyebrow. And just pull it along. And just take off any excess with I'm using a baby wipe kind of thing, makeup wipe. And just make sure all the edges are blended. If it helps, you can use your finger just to taper the edges off. And that's that. That is my eyebrows blocked out. Okay, so now I'm going to start on the scars that Edward has. And yes, he has quite a lot, so this is going to be using quite a lot of wax. I would test it on your eyebrows first. Obviously you would, because you're blocking your eyebrows out. If you find that you're getting quite a lot of irritation, I wouldn't go with wax. I mean, you can always use gelatin, like food gelatin. Just warm it up and let it cool down just before it sets, and then you can apply it with a spatula in the same kind of way, and that will make raised areas of the skin. I mean, that'll work for scars as well, but I'm going to be using wax because it's my favourite and I like the effect that it gives. But if you do get skin irritation for doing your eyebrows, don't do this. Just use gelatin, because otherwise you'll have a whole lot of irritation going on. Now, I apply wax in a different way to most people do. Usually you roll the wax into a ball or a cylinder and then just stick it down and blend the edges. That doesn't really work for me. So, I mean, if you've watched my Bride of Frankenstein tutorial, I'll put a link there. I apply my wax by literally just smearing it in an area and then blending the edges and then scoring it. Just because I find it a lot easier. I love the spatula. It just got so much control with it. So I literally take about that much. I'm just looking at pictures for reference, so I know where I'm putting this. So, for example, he has one long raised scar, like a type of keloid scar type thing. So there's no blood or anything. It's just the raised areas of skin. And I'm just going to literally drag that and pull it down. So just like that. Just make sure it's really pressed down. I find it helps if I make my spatula a little bit damp. I mean, I'm using baby wipes in between, but it makes it nice and slippery so it doesn't stick to the spatula itself. Just need to make sure it's stuck to your face. That's why I don't like using my fingers, because it gets too hot and it sticks, so it's a lot easier to just use the spatulas. Okay, and just push the edges in gently, just so there's no harsh line and you know it's stuck to your face then. Okay, so I'm going to do that again. There's quite a lot of these, so I'm just following the shapes. There's going to be one little one here, I think. I'm going to take a small amount. I'm just going to put that about there. There's one long one down here. Whoop. And we've got one just above the eyebrow. Okay, so sorry, I kind of got carried away there. So I've literally done slashes going across here, and I've done this V shape on the nose and one going down here, and just following the shape really. There are a lot on the mouth. Now I'm just going to quickly go and sort my beard out, and then I'll be right back to do that. Okay, so the lip pieces are probably one of the most important bits of this makeup, to be honest, aside from the eye shape, because the idea is he's got a scar going right through his lip, which should be on the opposite side of this piece. So I'm literally putting a piece just going right through my lip. So the idea is it doesn't quite meet up with this line here, just misses. Okay, so the next piece goes just next to it, going downwards. Okay, and then I'm going to take my spatula when it's clean, and you can use a toothpick for this, just or a blunt, more a spoon or something, or a blunt knife. Just be really careful. And I'm just going to score down the centre. Okay. Okay, so when you're successfully all waxed up, I'm going to start on a foundation. So this foundation is going to be my usual mixing medium for a pale skin. I'm going to be using my MAC Studio Fix Fluid Foundation in NW15, so the pinky toned colour, and some Snazaroo Clown White, which is like cream white. You don't have to use the MAC, it's just because it's a liquid foundation, just because a nice pale liquid foundation you can mix with the cream, okay? So I'm going to use more of the white than the foundation, but I don't want this to be white, I just want it to be really, really pale. Okay, bear that in mind. Actually, no, what I meant to say was more of the foundation than the white. Yeah, so about 3 parts of the foundation to 1 part of the Snazaroo Clown White. Okie dokie, so I've got something that looks like that. Okay, so it's very, very pale, but not white. That's the key. Okay, so I'm just going to take this and I'm going to apply this all over my face, being super careful when you apply it onto the wax. Okay, the wax will stay there, but just try not to rub over it too much because you might start bringing up the edges and we don't want that. Okay, so just dab it over the top of the wax. Okay, and then going to powder that with some Grimace translucent powder, which is like a white setting powder. Okay. So now I've got the foundation done. You can just about see these scars. I'm going to go in after I've done everything else, and I'm going to make them look a bit more apparent just by colouring them a little bit. Okay, so now that's done, I'm going to start on the eyeshadow. Okay, so for the eye shape, I'm going to be using a MAC eyeshadow. This is Beautiful Iris. It's like a really light lilac. Don't know if you can see that. Again, doesn't have to be MAC. I'm just using it because I like MAC eyeshadows, and I've got quite a lot of different eyeshadows from MAC. But any kind of light lilac will work great. I mean, yeah. So I'm taking a medium fluffy brush, and I'm just going to start lightly covering the whole of my eye with this colour, but in a shape where it's start higher here and lower here. So the idea is you've got this kind of shape going on. You'll see what I mean. Okay, so I'm not sure how well you can see that. It's kind of just building up the shadow. So I've literally done this little sail shape. Okay, so I've not gone past my eyebrow here. Okay, so just so I know what I'm working with. Okay, then I'm just going to use the MAC Parfait Amour, which is exactly the same as the Beautiful Iris, just a little bit darker. Okay, so a little bit darker purple. And I'm just going to lightly do that again, but really, really lightly. Okay, and I'm also going to do the same dark purple under the eyes, leaving a tiny little gap in between my eye, though, okay, because that's part of the look to make his eyes look bigger. He's got a line of foundation just under his eye. Okay, next I'm going to take a MAC brown eyeshadow and a really small brush, and I'm just going to keep doing the same shape over and over again. Just keep layering this up. You don't want to go straight in with heavy colour, because I mean, otherwise, it's a lot easier to darken this up than it is to line it. Okay, so just trust me on that. The reason, this is like the base colour because I want that hint of purple there, but I think that's all the purple I kind of need really. Okay, so I'm just going to literally do this again with the brown, really, really lightly. Right, I've just done an outline just so I can show you the shape that I'm going for. Okay, so I've not blended that yet, okay, obviously. So that's the shape I'm going for. I want this whole of the inside of my eye left clean, okay, just with the smoky lilac, nothing else on there. Okay, so I'm just going to take a medium fluffy brush and I'm just going to start smoking this brown outwards. Okay, so just keep smoking until you've got this really cool shadowy look. Okay, so for the lips I'm going to be using this Grimace Cream Purple number 601. Okay, so not heavily at all. I'm just going to take a big old fluffy brush and just press it on my lip. I really use a lot of big old fluffy brushes, don't I? So I'm just going to take a tiny amount and just literally press it on my lips. And I want this Cupid's bow shape, so I want the edges hidden. Okay, so I've slightly exaggerated the Cupid's bow and just blocked out the sides with the same foundation, okay? Okay, so then I'm going to start on the contouring because he's got really, really hollowed out cheeks, hasn't he? As most of Tim Burton characters have. So I'm going to use, it's actually a bronzer, but I use it all the time for my shading. But this is Sun Blush from Clinique, I believe this is. But I'm literally just going to use a really light amount of it just on the sides here, just like the usual Johnny Depp's cheekbones. So the shape I want is literally going to be so along then down. Okay, so really nothing too heavy, just to get that shape. Okay. Next, I'm just going to take an angle brush and just take some of the foundation and I'm just going to go over all of the scars just to highlight them. And I just took some of the purple lipstick, the purple cream that I used on my lips. I'm just tiny bit on one side of each of the cuts. I'm just scars. I'm literally just going to score next to them, just to add a bit of depth. Okay, so I completed my look by applying my Edward Scissor Hands costume, which I got in Argos if you live in the UK. It's really basic. It's just, yeah, that's all I can say about it really. It's just a top. So yeah, I popped in some black contact lenses and I applied a black bob wig which I have mutilated. I literally cut it to random lengths, backcombed it and sprayed it so it looks all spidery. Yeah, the costume actually come with these really naff looking scissors, but they'll do. But yeah, what do you think? Oh, also, a really big thing, I've actually nearly hit 3,000 subscribers, which is awesome. I cannot believe that. Thank you guys so much. It's so amazing. Yay! Hi, new people. If this is the first news tutorial you've seen me do since subscribing, yeah. This is pretty much what goes on here. Yeah, but when I do reach 3,000 subscribers, I think I've got 2,920, something like that at the moment, I will be doing a new competition, as usual, every time I get 1,000 subscribers, and it's going to be a big contest this time, so stay tuned to watch this space. Yeah. Also, I'm going to put a link in the description bar below, as always, but not a lot of people know that I have a Facebook page and a Twitter page now. I'll put the links in the description bar below because I'm always updating those with like pictures of my tutorials before they come out, and I'm always answering questions on there. And I mean, I love getting your guys' questions. I mean, on YouTube it's a bit difficult because it's easier to keep track of questions and everything on my Facebook page. I mean, I'll always try my best to get back to you on the YouTube channel, but worst case scenario, if you've got a really big question that you want to talk to me about, I was going to say in person then, but you know what I mean, it's probably better to message me on Facebook, but whichever's easiest, okay? Also, the Twitter thing, I'm updating it fairly regularly. I'm still new to Twitter, so if I don't reply to your comments on Twitter, bear with me, I will get back to you. I'm just trying to figure out how to work this whole Twittery madness, yeah. So thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed it. So yeah, until next time, bye!